Hey, here we go. Getting you ready for another great weekend of action here on Horse Race Bets. We have an awesome card on Saturday. Everybody is talking about Stephen Foster Day at Churchill Downs in Louisville, Kentucky. We've had some weather come through, and we probably might get a little more weather coming through over the course of the weekend, but I don't believe it's going to affect the status of the majority of the races. So what we're going to do here today, going to recap all of our selections to get you set for the weekend, right? We have 6 consecutive stakes races coming your way, races 7 through 12, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 5th. 7 through 12 on Saturday at Churchill Downs. We'll get into that. Then we'll have our 2 play of the day selections here for this Friday. So you got a little money to play with, all right? So we'll quickly recap our selections throughout the week and get you going. All right, first race is race 7. That's the Fleur de Lis, Saturday, Churchill Downs, and that's obviously the return of Torpedo Anna. And I'm surprised that a lot of handicappers and fans are saying that she's done. Like, what? Nah, she's not done. And this could be the perfect spot for her to kind of reassert her dominance. But I believe Taxed will be in a great spot with Rafael Bejarano and be able to sit just off, run them all down, and it's 9-2 morning line. I don't know if it's going to float up. She might get a little play, but I'm sticking with Fleur de Lis at 9-2, right? That's race 7. Race number 8 will be the $250,000 Tepin Stakes Saturday. Fixin' to be to the inside. This is a race that's on the turf course. Fixin' to be will be in a wonderful spot. There's pace in the race. It's not just overloaded with speed, but even if we get a couple of scratches, I still think there's enough for this horse who doesn't need to be too far back, right? Florent Charroux will be in the perfect spot there. And I believe they'll be great value. 8-1 morning line on Fixin' to Be. I think we're going to get a little bit of play. We'll be 5-1 post time. You know, we'll take that all day long. We're good with that, right? Race number 9 is the Grade 2 Wise Dan. Another race on the turf course. And here's a situation where we have 3 speed horses, maybe 4. But Fort Washington is obviously the big closer in the field. Has an incredible closing kick. Is really in good form with those back-to-back victories, and it's just consistent. And I can't think of any situation where the horse won't be making a move. If they don't get there in time, that's a whole different situation. But they're going to be motoring in the stretch, and I like Fort Washington quite a bit. And, you know, I think we'll get decent value when the time comes for that race. So then we move on. Back half, race number 10. The Grade 3 Kelly's Landing Stakes. We go back to the main track. Booth is the best gate speed in the race. They're 2-1 on the morning line, so we're not getting much value here. But they're the quickest. They should control the pace. It's really all or nothing for this horse. They have to break on top and get out of there like their hair is on fire. Just get out of there. And if they can do that, I think they're going to be in good shape turning for home. Booth is the top pick. 2-1 morning line. Probably going to be shorter than that post time for the Grade 3 Kelly's Landing Stakes. Race number 11 will be the biggie of the bunch. It's the Grade 1 Stephen Foster. This is $1 million race. Great field of runners in here. And, you know, you've got so many closers. You know, Mystic Dan is probably going to be the favorite here because he won last time out. And he's not a deep closer. He can just sit just off. Got a nice turn of foot. Loves to fight. Loves to win races. And then you've got the deep closers like Hit Show and Sierra Leone. And I feel like you need a horse that's going to kind of split the difference and be versatile. Skippy Longstocking is a horse that has enough speed that if no one goes, Skippy can totally dictate the fractions. And if another runner, if Mindframe or any of these other runners decide, hey, I'm going to go, well, Skippy can sit just off of them and get the jump on the closers. I love the fact that this horse can rate off the pace, and I love the fact that this horse loves to win races. So I'm going to go with Skippy Longstocking to win the Grade 1 Stephen Foster on Saturday. Then we get to our final selection on Saturday. Remember we talked about the American Derby on turf is the 12th and final race on Saturday. Even if we get some rain, I still believe this race will be on the turf course at 1 mile and a 16th. Pace makes everything. There is no speed in the race whatsoever. And with Freedom's Not Free coming from California, Antonio Fresu in the irons for Mark Glatt, they only have one way to go. Shove out of the gate, get out of there, right? If you can think about all the best gate riders that you've ever seen in the history of your time in horse racing, right? This is the kind of situation where I would like to have vintage Patrick Valenzuela on Freedom's Not Free, or a guy like Martin Pedroza, who was awesome on the West Coast at getting out on the front end. I remember Aaron Grider was really good on the front end as well. There are so many really good front end riders. Like if I see Mike Smith on Lone Speed, I know you're not going to catch Mike, and then you're not going to beat him because he's got the best left-handed stick in the business. So it's one of those things where Lone Speed's always interesting. But I definitely think that Lone Speed coming from Southern California in this situation, they should just be gone. And if they're not, then we've got no shot whatsoever. If they don't break on top, we are finished, bro. So that's the recap of our selections for the weekend at Churchill. 6 picks. Now listen to me. This is what I'm going to do. I believe 100% in every one of my selections. There's not one pick that I'm making where I'm like, I'm taking a chance. No, I believe they're all extremely live. So I will use those selections to play a hardcore pick 5. I'm going to play what I call an asshole pick 5. I'm an asshole because I'm being arrogant and trying to take everything. And I'm going to single those horses. I don't think I'm going to add anybody in any of the races. I don't think I need to. Single, 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 single in the pick 5. And I'm going to play it $10 pick 5. Does that make sense? $10. If you're right, be right and make it count. That's what's coming up on Saturday. Here's what we're going to do here on Friday. So as I was looking at a lot of the tracks that are getting set for Friday, I was really kind of confused by the weather situations. We have a lot of weather coming through, mainly East Coast, right? Mid-Atlantic, and then, of course, Florida, and then to Kentucky. So I wasn't sure on Friday what I was going to be able to find in terms of turf racing that I was comfortable with. So I decided I'm not going to fight it. I went to synthetic at Gulfstream Park for the first play of the day. It's going to be race number 7 on the synthetic, and they're going to be going 5 furlongs with 7 runners. And, you know, even with the 7 runners, there's good speed here in this race. So I like the 4, Gunesh. This runner has a wonderful closing kick, likes to win races, will be in a good spot, and we're getting great value at 6-1 on the morning line. I think the horse will get a little bit of play. There's another closer in the race. I think it's the number 3 horse. And they ran behind Gunesh last time out. But I'm still expecting Gunesh to outkick that horse, get the jump and outkick that closing horse, and we get all the monies. 6-1 morning line, I think, will be 9-2 on Gunesh when it's all said and done. That's our play of the day from Gulfstream Park, race 7 here on this Friday. And we look to get the money there in race number 7. So, talking about weather situations, right, especially on the East Coast, I'm not quite sure what's going to happen sometimes. So I decided to look at Monmouth, and I felt like, okay, even if they get rain at Monmouth, there's a race and a horse that I like either way. Like, it's not going to matter what the weather conditions are for this runner here. And we're talking about race number 8 on the card from Monmouth. They're going to go a mile on the dirt. You have 8 runners. And it's the number 8 to the outside that I like quite a bit. Looking for Water. Incredible closing kick last time out, first off the layoff. You would think they would need that, but they didn't really need it. They came roaring through the stretch to score in that race. Then you want to go back and look at their performances on an off track, just as impressive. Now, the horse doesn't win a tremendous amount of races, but in this race with this caliber, right, these conditions, I think that the 7, that is the 8. Duh, that's the 8, Looking for Water. It says number 7 there on the graphic. Ignore that. It's the number 8, Looking for Water, who's going to be able to make it happen in that race at Monmouth. That's going to be race number 8 with 8 runners, and he's the 8th runner to the outside. It's the 8, Looking for Water. There it is. Okay, that is how we set you up for the weekend. Great action coming up from Churchill Downs. We'll try to make some things happen here on this Friday with our selections for the play of the day at Gulfstream Park and at Monmouth. All right? And with that, we wrap up episode number 102 as we just keep it moving here. Seriously, think about what I said about that pick 5 at Churchill. Be aggressive. Don't spend too much, but there's nothing wrong with being aggressive. Try to scoop up as much as you possibly can. As I've said before, there are people who are going to play these big tickets, and they're going to put their winning tickets out there on X or Twitter, and if you look at them, they're all investing $90, $150, $210, And if you score, it's fantastic. But if you don't, you just invested too much money. So I always try to keep things manageable, right? Keep it manageable so that when it doesn't work out, you're not completely just, ah. And when it does work out, you're like, I'm a genius, because you are. All right? All right, that's going to do it. Good luck and enjoy everything you're into. In the meantime, in between time, until next time, we'll see you here on Horse Race Bets. I'm going to be out of town. And next time you hear from me, it'll be from another state. And I'll update you on that coming up next week.